Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So great for us to be together to celebrate Shabbat and to hear about some wonderful Jewish summer experiences that many people in our community have had the opportunity to participate in, and maybe some of you will participate in the future after hearing about them tonight. So for two of the things we're talking about tonight, they happen at Jacob's Camp, and on Friday night, Shabbat services at Jacob's Camp overlooks the lake, right? So I thought we'd bring our own tonight. Because it's raining so much, I think we have a lake in our orchard. So if you've been to Jacob's Camp, maybe you can imagine staring out at the lake. And everybody's in white, right? Thank you, Eliana. So it's so great for us to be together and to celebrate Shabbat. Everything you need to join with us in prayer tonight is going to be on the screen, but if you'd like to follow along, I invite you to pull out a prayer book. You can find those on the shelf on the seat that you are sitting in, right underneath that seat, so either on the screen or in the prayer book. It is so great that we're able to be together. Let us sing those words which remind us how good and how pleasant it is to be together from Psalm 133. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. 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 Let us welcome Shabbat by lighting our Shabbat candles. It's my honor to invite Diane Deitch up to light our Shabbat candles this evening. And we are together on page 120 and 121.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Wonderful, I can hold the microphone for you.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Let us join together reading on page 124. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. Let us welcome the presence of Shabbat as we sing the words of Lecha Dodi on page 138 and 139. When we get to that final stanza, when we welcome Shabbat, I invite you, if you are comfortable doing so, standing up and facing the door to greet Shabbat, just like you would greet a friend to your home. We sing together. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 Panei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 Panei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor bedibor echad, Hishmianu el hameyuchad. Adonai echad ushmo echad, L'Shem tiferet velitila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 Panei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 Panei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor habracha. Merosh mikadem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'maksheva techila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 Panei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 Panei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, hitoreri, kiva orech kumi uri, 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 shir daberi, kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 Panei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 Panei Shabbat nekabela. If you are comfortable doing so, I invite you to rise to face the door so we can tell Shabbat to enter in peace. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam besimcha uvesohola, toch emunei am segula, boi chala, boi chala. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 Panei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, yalalai, 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 Panei Shabbat nekabela. Before you take your seats, I invite you, we just greeted Shabbat. Take a moment to greet one another. Wish someone across from you, wish someone in front of you, wish someone behind you a Shabbat Shalom. once you've had a moment to greet a few people, I invite you to make your way back to your seats. It's the power of being up here, right? I get to tell you to talk to one another, and then I get to tell you to come back together, right? As we continue this theme of welcoming, let us welcome the ministering angels of Shabbat by singing Shalom Aleichem, page 142. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tonight we have the opportunity to learn about wonderful Jewish experiences that happen over the summer, and what better way to hear about these experiences than to invite people who participate in them. So I'm going to invite up those who are helping share about Dream Street to come on up.
Okay, Shabbat Shalom. My name is Seth Kaplan, and I've been involved with Camp Dream Street since 1980, so it's been quite some time. Who here knows about Camp Dream Street? Let's just see a show of hands. Wonderful. So you'll hear a little bit about Camp Dream Street tonight. It is a 5-day, 5-night summer camp for kids with physical disabilities. All the campers are from Mississippi, Louisiana, all over the place. It's non-denominational for the campers. All the counselors, however, are the Jewish youth of this region, of Nifty Southern, or what do you call it now? Still Nifty Southern. Used to be Softy. So what's beautiful about Camp Dream Street is that these children become adults literally overnight. When they are paired one-on-one, two-on-one with a camper with physical needs, they become their caregiver for the entire week, because the family drops them off and they now become the caregivers for the whole week. So they're taking care of the campers, all their needs, from changing diapers to feeding, dressing, getting them to and from the pool, all the different activities. So as now a parent of counselors at Camp Dream Street, it truly is an amazing transformation that you will see in our Jewish youth when they are giving back to our society and our community to help make our world a better place by giving back to these kids for an entire week, because they go from teenagers taking care of themselves to teenagers taking care of someone else, sometimes for the first time in their lives. And it's amazing. If you ever get a chance to come, it is a wonderful place to be. And so I've been involved with Dream Street, like I said, since I was a counselor. Then I was on upper staff. It was one of the biggest influences in my life to help me become a physical therapist. And almost the entire professional staff now is made up of prior counselors, now professional staff, from physical therapists, physicians, occupational therapists, speech therapists, recreational therapists. All of those people got their start at Camp Dream Street. And so it has made a tremendous impact on this region and on our country around this area. And so I'd be happy to entertain any questions after we get through, but I want you to hear from these beautiful children here about their experience with the Camp Dream Street, because it will really make you proud as a parent when you get to see them do what they do for that week.
Hi, Shabbat Shalom. My name is Mackenzie Nash. I'm a student at LSU, and I'm also a Sunday school teacher. I am also here to talk about Dream Street, and Mr. Kaplan already went through half of what I was going to talk about. But Dream Street is something that is dear and near to me, and for those who don't know, again, repeat, it is a week-long camp, a sleepaway camp for kids with youth with disabilities, and it's completely free. It's a non-judgmental area where we have accommodations that they don't have to ask for, or we completely accommodate for them. These children go home at the end of camp with new skills, new equipment, new experiences, and of course, new friends. I've had the honor of being part of the Magic at Camp Dream Street for my 6th summer. This year, I was part of the evening program team and art room director. As part of the evening program team of writers, I work closely with the leadership team to plan, create, and execute a evening program, which are programs we have each night of camp that is related to the theme of what camp is. So this year it was space, and my program was about repairing the rocket ship. And I had to dig deep. I've always had to dig deep into my creative juices to make a program based on this year's theme and adaptable for everyone, and of course, super fun. Also, as art room director, I'm in charge of making sure everything in the art room is up to code for our campers, our right activities for them to do, and supervise. This year was also camp's 50th birthday, which meant all of camp had a huge reunion and a party. Meaning camp has changed the lives for people's lives for 50 years and so many more to go. Let's see. Being able to be part of the Dream Street Magic and team has made me a better person. I wouldn't be here today if it made me who I am today, and it has also made me go out and experience so much more than I thought I would do. I'm also in school because of Dream Street, so yeah.
Hi, I'm Lily Tepper. I am also a Sunday school teacher, and I'm a freshman at LSU. I did not prepare too much, so I'm just going to talk about my campers for the past 2 years. I've only been a counselor for 2 years, and I hope to continue working at Dream Street for hopefully as long as you have, Seth. So we'll see how that goes. And I've also based my studies off of camp to be a communication disorder major. I'm super excited to get into speech pathology. Speaking with the professional staff at camp is wonderful. Seeing how much they adapt everything to the campers' needs is so meaningful. Sorry, I'm really shaky. It makes me really emotional. My camper, Susie, on the first day when I had to learn, how to change her feeding tube and seeing her be around these people for the first time and just get to experience being a kid, and her sister, when she came back from the end of camp, this always makes me super sad. She just said it was her first time being with her parents in her whole life without her sister. And knowing that my brother was very involved with everything, and I could not imagine time without my parents, it just meant so much seeing how it affects every single kid there. And it's just such a beautiful community. Coco up there was a little attitude-based the whole camp. She really missed her family, but by the end, she really did get involved with every aspect of camp, especially the evening program. She really liked the rocket ships. And it was just so special. And I can never stop talking about Dream Street, so you can also come talk to me. I will literally yap your ear off about it, so not to worry. I'll let y'all speak now.
Okay, I'm Sarah Kaplan. Everything I had written has already been said, so I can just talk about my camper. My camper's up there. I'm behind her. Her name was Kyla. I've had another camper named Alley Cat too. Both of them were, both of them were completely different campers. Alley Cat was like,
You've
just like
never met in your life.
She was the girl that you would go and she'd be like, yo, Alley Cat, and she'd be like, hey, what's up?
She loved to show her muscles and give fist bumps. She was amazing.
She was the, what's it called, hand wrestling queen.
Yeah, she could beat me in a hand wrestle. And then I had Kyla this year, which like was a little bit of an adjustment because she was a little bit older, not really wanting to do some of the like younger kid activities. So me and my co-Eve, our job was to make it more fun for her, like, because some of the activities were younger. But one thing that she did have that like I would think changed her life was she didn't have a cup holder on her wheelchair, and they had these people there who were doing 3D printing, and they customized it to perfectly fit her wheelchair, so now she doesn't have to hold her cup whenever someone else is pushing her, or make someone else hold her cup while she's pushing herself, so now she can just have her cup. Just drink one. Hey y'all, I'm Lauren Kaplan, and my camper this year was Arlie, and all I have to say was she's the sweetest, happiest camper, and she like one of the times we were, so the theme this year was like stealing space.
Yeah, so it was the theme this year was space, and it was basically we had these characters. We had an astronaut named Captain Starbeam, and then we had two little aliens, Zip and Zap. So Zip and Zap stole all of the stars in the universe, and Dream Street had to collectively come together as a community and help Captain Starbeam collect all the stars back and save the universe.
Right, so like everybody was being mean to all the aliens, and Arlie was like, we have to be nice to the aliens, like they just don't have friends, like we have to be nice, and she's just like the sweetest girl. She never had any problems, like she was the best camper ever, and it makes me different today. And I loved it.
So you can see the influence that Dream Street has on our kids, and so it's a wonderful program. And if you ever do get the chance to go and visit for the day, it's the week of Memorial Day week. It starts off on Memorial Day when the campers get there, and they're there through the week. So and we've got wonderful people like this on programming staff that's all volunteer. The entire staff is all volunteer, and so it is a beautiful camp, and you should be very proud that your youth are involved in it. So thank you.
As we think about the experiences that were shared, I have not had the opportunity to visit Dream Street, but I have heard many people talk about, and it was said just a moment ago, that these few short days are life-changing, both for the campers and for those who are able to be the counselors and be the senior staff for it. And it is almost like their pause, right? Like, I can only imagine what life is like for the parents of these children, and how it is also their pause when they feel that they're dropping their kids off at a safe space for their kids with special needs, and it is their Shabbat. So I hope that you feel as we enter Shabbat each week a moment of pause, how important it is to get to offer that to other people. And I invite you to find whatever that moment is for you now as we enter this transitional moment of prayer on page 144. Yitgadal v'kadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma divrach yerotev yamlich malchutei B'chayechon uvyomechon Uv'chayei dekol Beit Yisrael Bagala bagala Uvizman kariv ve'imeru Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach Le'olam olam me'olmaya Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei dekudesha parichu le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma ve'imeru. As we turn the page 146, I invite you to please rise. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai la lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai be seated. We read together page 149. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Continuing together on page 150. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. As we turn the page and find the words of Shema declaring God one, I invite you to rise if it is your custom. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. You may be seated. We continue chanting together page 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'kol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol meodecha v'hayu hadavarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam livanecha vidibarta bam beshivtecha b'veitecha uvleftecha vaderech ushokbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot beineinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kiddoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti atchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lachem lelohim Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem, Emet. One of the special things that Jacob's Camp did this summer was invite adults to come to camp to be creative residents. And we were lucky enough to have two of our members represent us as creative residents. So I'm going to invite Jennifer and Chris to come on up and share what it was like being creative residents in the pilot year of this program.
Hi everyone, Shabbat Shalom. I'm Jennifer Silver, and as Rabbi explained, I got to return to Jacobs, or return home rather, for the Creative Residency Program. Went for a couple of days with my best camp friend Sally, and we got to teach some dance programming like we did together when we went to camp as staff members. So I spent 13 summers at camp total, 8 of them as a camper and 5 of them on staff. I had to get the 5-year jacket. And I did bring it with me, even though it was like 100 degrees, because I had to represent. I was actually away for 13 summers. I figured out I couldn't remember the last year I went, so I was doing the math before I got here. I was away for another 13 summers before I finally went back. And as soon as I passed through the gates, it felt like the strangest time warp feeling in the entire world. It had been 13 years, but it felt like I was just there yesterday. So with all the improvements they've made around camp, I can now finally understand what my parents' generation meant when they told me, like, you don't know how good you kids have it. They've got bottle fillers everywhere. They've got bottle fillers everywhere. They've got a new fancy pool house. They have a kitchen that they use for kitchen programming, for the kids to cook and bake and things like that. They have big ceiling fans in all the spaces. They have the new athletic complex that we used to call the Berman Center. So it was pretty crazy. Our old stomping grounds, the dance studio, still looked exactly the same, so that was kind of cool. But one thing I kept telling my family and friends when I returned was that so much has changed at camp, yet so much is still the same. So they may have all this new fancy stuff, but the spirit and the community that's there is still very much the same. It's thriving, it's growing, which makes me very happy, and I can't wait to send my little one, Rebecca, one day to Jacobs Camp. And when Rabbi asked me to speak about my experience, it had me reflecting on what I went through, and I realized we're kind of going through the same thing here. So everything looks different. We've unified into one. We have a different space, but our community and our spirit is still very much the same. So definite good time with Jacobs Camp. Thank you.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Chris Adams, and I got to do theater at Jacobs this year. My experience was very unique. I had only ever seen Jacobs through my wife and son's eyes, just dropping them off and then dropping right back out the door. I had heard about it for many, many years, and so when I asked a lot of questions of Anna and the staff, they're just like, oh, you'll figure it out. Where am I gonna be? Oh, you'll figure it out. Where's my first class? You'll figure it out. Okay. It was such a great experience. I got to work with almost every second grader through sixth grader. I got to work with each of the cabins, and then I had a core set of kids I would see each day. And the core group grew every day. I gave them homework, which I apparently wasn't supposed to do. And the counselor was just like, my kids stayed up past dark, and they were working on your homework. What do you do? I don't know. And then, oh, I want to do my homework too. And it just grew and grew, and it was so nice to see the incredible family that was built there. I was immediately felt at home. You could be surrounded by people and still feel the solitude, if that makes any sense. It was really a magical place. I was very fortunate to be there. Hope to get to go back again. And if you have some spare time over the summer, I would definitely encourage you to take part of it. It was absolutely a great experience being one of the teachers this year. And a first-time camper. Thanks.
Thank you both for sharing. It just so happens as well, when the two of them were there for this pilot program, I happened to be there as well on faculty. So how great was it? I didn't know either of them were going to be there. And we end up in the dining hall eating lunch together on their first day. And then seeing these kids get to experience dance. One thing Jennifer didn't share is that then the group came together and put on a performance in the dining hall of all the stuff they had learned. And then seeing the kids run up to you and have an opportunity to express these theater things. So if you have your own gift, your own talent, no matter if you'd been a camper for many years or if this was your first time going to camp, I know that the Jacobs Camp staff is really excited about this new program. And I'm very excited to have more of our members in our Baton Rouge Jewish community representing at Jacobs Camp as well. It really makes us feel like we are a family from generation to generation, whether it was the ancestors who crossed the Red Sea or the generation yet to come. As we think about that chain of tradition, let us return to our prayers, page 158, and sing those words that were sung when our ancestors crossed the sea. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, nara tehilot, O say fele, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. One thing, no matter if you've been to Jacob's Camp your entire life or like me have only spent a few weeks there are just these moments of peace. Yes, you walk into the dining hall and it is the most chaotic, loud noise, which is such ruach, spirit, and joyfulness. But then there are these moments, whether it's in quiet or whether it's during that ruach, of true peace. Maybe some of you have found your peace, your Sukkot Shalom, at camp or at another Jewish experience or traveling the world through Jewish eyes. But whatever place you have found your peace, I invite you to find it now as we read together on page 161. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukkot shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. We sing together, celebrating Shabbat, page 162. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam, beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti le'olam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz, v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i shavat vayinafash, Shavat vayinafash, v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Shabbat is something that happens here in Baton Rouge, happens all over our country and of course across the world. And we had 3 teens of our community who were lucky enough to spend time this summer seeing Europe through Jewish eyes. So I'm gonna invite up Noah and Sarah and Lauren to share about their trip, as they all look at the picture that they had no idea I took from maybe their Instagram pages. Not yet. You're the next Noah. You're the next Noah. There's 2 Noahs. You're coming up next.
Hey y'all. We participated in a 16-day BBYO trip this summer. This trip was to countries in Central Europe. The countries that we visited included Germany, Austria, the Czech Republic, and Poland. In Germany, we were able to meet Jewish teens our age, and we still keep in touch with them. In Austria, we went whitewater rafting into an amusement park and so much more. In the Czech Republic, we went to a beautiful ski resort town and spent the day there. That was by far my favorite city. Lastly, we went to Poland. In Poland, we went to Auschwitz. The whole group of 80 kids were forever changed after spending the day there. Overall, I really enjoyed this trip. We were able to go with lots of our camp friends, and we met many more from mostly all over the north.
Again, she said a lot, but I got to meet a ton of Jewish teens from all over the United States and some even from Canada. One of my roommates was from Canada, and we talked about like the differences in schools and stuff like that. So I thought that was cool. We also got to talk about like being Jewish with some of the Jewish teens from Germany. We got to like have a sit down dinner with them and just talk about things, the difference again in schools, how they're treated as Jews there. I also got to explore my Jewish faith on a deeper level and kind of see where my ancestors came from and what they had to deal with back then.
Yeah, the trip was it was a really good experience for me to go on, and us too. I met a lot of amazing people, a lot of friends I'll never forget, and I made a lot of memories. We learned a lot of history on that trip. We went to a bunch of synagogues and museums and stuff, so we learned a bunch. We went to like Auschwitz and stuff, so we learned the history and the struggles of our people, and it was a really good trip. I was very happy we went on it. It's really short because you said everything. You said everything.
When I've had the opportunity to attend services in a country where English is not their first language, the thing that I found comforting when the person up front was talking and I didn't understand anything they were saying, if they were speaking in Russian when I was in Ukraine, or whether it be another language I am not familiar with, the thing I found comforting was that our central prayers are sang the same way no matter where you are across the world. So as we enter this moment, our central prayers are Amidah. I invite you to get lost in the Hebrew as we chant it together and realize that as we sing these words together, we are connected to Jews not just here in Baton Rouge and in North America, but to Jews all over the world, like our teens have the opportunity to connect with this past summer. So let us enter our Amidah now, page 164 and following, and I invite you to rise. Adonai sifatai tifta ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei avotinu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Ha'gibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasei Avot v'imahot, U'mevi Geula livnei b'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo v'ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh ha'kol atah le'oshia, Mori hatah, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh ha'kol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Mikamocha ba'al geburot, Umidon Melech Le'mid, Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'chrayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh, v'shimcha kadosh, v'kadoshim b'chol yom yehallelu chasela, Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. I invite you now to continue with a moment of your own private prayers. either using the words in the prayer book until page 180 or using the words in your own hearts on this Shabbat evening, and you may be seated whenever you wish. Oh, say shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Many of us right now might be feeling that sense of peace as we celebrate the wonderful experiences of our community. But we know that there are those who are still searching for their peace, possibly because they suffer illness of body, illness of spirit, or illness of mind. So we turn our prayers now to those in need of healing. As a community, we think of all of those whose names are listed on the screen. But I also invite you to either share a name aloud that is on the screen or that is in your hearts if you are thinking of them as well as one community now. For all of those names we read on the screen, those we heard aloud, those whom we hold in our hearts, and those in need of prayers of healing in Israel, let us together offer these prayers of healing. Misheberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We we have heard from many people who've had wonderful experiences, but we're going to hear from one more group of people. So those campers, those kids in the room who are sharing their thoughts, so Eliana and Asher and Ben and Coco and LB and Noah, come on up and join me. And one future camper. Sophie's ready to go. James, Amanda, you ready to drop her off?
Maybe just because I'm here. Okay, fine.
Are you talking first? Okay, go for it. You want to? They'll hear you from those. You want this one? Talk to them, not to me. Stand right here. Like, sit on mommy's hands.
My name is Eliana, and I loved going to Jacob's camp and Camp Yala. The thing I thought was so crazy about Camp Yala was every time I made a craft, I did it bubblegum themed, and I loved Jacob's camp because it was bringing Olima to work day, and I got to annoy the Solimers in Betalia.
Good job. Do you want to go next? Noah Bowman. You're not next.
Sophie's next?
No, Bowman, you're going next. You're going next. We're going to do Olimers and then we'll go up.
I was ready for that.
The thing I liked about Jacob's camp was that every single night, we all came together and ate dinner, and at Shabbat we all came together and prayed, and at messy night, I loved dumping paint on my head.
Nice. Next Olimer. Go up to the table now. Go up to the table.
My favorite part was messy night, and I found some mud because it rained the night before, and then I rode around in it. And
I witnessed that.
And LB tried to hug me.
oh no, it was just I asked. I said I'm not dirty at all. Definitely not. And my favorite part was of messy night was going down the slide, because when I went down, I went to the side and went into the mud.
One of my favorite parts about Jacob's camp was the night before we all left. We all got together where we normally did tefillah on Shabbat, and we got to see fireworks, and me and my friends were just hugging each other and crying as we watched the fireworks because we didn't want to leave each other. And it was just a really special place to me.
Nice job, Coco. Nice job. Ben, you're up.
My favorite part about Jacob's camp was seeing all my friends and messy night, the food.
Anything else? I saw you on the scooters a lot.
I like camp because I have lots of friends there and it's really fun. And it was my 7th summer at camp, so camp's really special to me. And the new athletic complex was really cool. And I like swimming in the lake and the pool. The food's nice, and I really like Shabbat because it brings the whole camp together. Yeah.
Wonderful. So, how many summers have you been at camp? This was your first. How many summers have you been at camp? How many summers have you been at camp?
2.
How many summers have you been at camp?
This was my second.
Nice. You shared. How many summers have you been at camp? Awesome. So we have a array of and Sophie, how many summers are you going to go to camp?
No camp for me.
No camp for me. In the future, I'm sure we will have, you guys don't do anything. Go stand there. So, you heard some some of the things. We're gonna play the not messy night game with the how still statue can we stand game, okay? You heard them talk about some of their favorite activities. I too get the opportunity to spend a week at camp and serving on faculty, and I got to watch them roll in mud and have paint on this messy night. I stayed very far away, but I watched from afar. I got to gather our congregation together so we could talk about our favorite moments and be in the art room. And then I also, nobody mentioned it, because I'm sure Kahila is everybody's favorite part of camp, right? Also, as a faculty member, have the opportunity to teach Judaism in a different environment. And yes, there's this 1 hour of day called Kahila, but so much more of Judaism is taught than just that 1 hour of day. Eliana, my daughter, when she came home, the first few days we came home, when she was washing her hands, she was singing Birkat Hamazon and all of the other prayers that are sung at camp. And I know that all of these students are also our religious school students, that we see the Ruach they pass on from generation to generation. And we really, truly are a lucky place, because many of these campers up here during the year, every day they go to school, and they aren't surrounded by Judaism. They aren't surrounded by their friends. But when they get to go to Jacob's Camp, they are in a Jewish environment. And how great it is for, how many of you have friends now, like all over our region? Right? Yeah. Yeah, Sophia, you have a lot of friends. So we are so lucky to have them all over. We're going to 20 friends? Yeah. Whoa, Sophie has 20 friends. I'm gonna invite everyone to please talk to all of these people who shared during services, to continue the conversation when we transition to our oneg in a little bit. But first, I want to invite, there are a few other Jacob's campers. I'm going to start with that. If you are a kid here who has gone to Jacob's Camp, but just come on up. That's my first step. There's more of you. I'm going to say still the kids, not the grown-ups. I know some of you are grown-ups. I'm going to have you stand up in a second, too. Don't do anything yet. Now, if you're a kid in the room who hasn't yet had the opportunity to go to Jacob's Camp, I'm going to invite you to come up. Any other kids in the room who have not yet had the opportunity? Okay, now I'm going to invite, for all those people that are out here, you're not going to come up, you're going to stay in your seats. But I'm going to invite you to stand if you have ever spent any time at Jacob's Camp. For whatever reason. How beautiful is this? For generations and generations of people going to Jacob's Camp and bringing Southern Jews together to celebrate. I'm now going to, don't sit down, because I'm now going to invite everyone to stand up as we turn to our concluding prayers, page 586, and I invite my friends up here to open our ark. And we join together. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'teik yedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoyei haratso, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gora leinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu, shehu notei shamayim ve'yoser haaretz, umoshev yikaro b'shamayim ima'al, ushkinatu zo, begohei meromim, hu Eloheinu ein od, emet malkeinu efesulato, kakatuv b'torato, v'yadata hayom v'hashavota el levavecha, ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim, b'shamayim ima'al, ve'al ha'aretz 591. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace. V'nemar v'haya Adonai l'melech kol haaretz bayom hahu yihya Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Friends, will you please help close the art? Wash your fingers, Sophie. Okay, you can very orderly take a piece of candy and hand back to us. You may be seated. Tonight, we sure have a lot to celebrate. We heard about Dream Street, about many programs that happen at Jacobs Camp, about the opportunity to travel in a Jewish setting. We truly do have a lot to celebrate. But all of us also know that this has been a difficult week. It's been a difficult week for news coming from Israel. When I arrived to our building on Tuesday, I had to take 6 stickers that said "Remembered Forever," remember in our hearts, and place them on cards in our album that we have honoring our hostages. Many of you on Wednesday were glued to your TVs because of what happened in Georgia. Although we have a lot to celebrate, we also know that we have a lot to think about and a lot more hope and peace to bring to the world. So as we enter a moment where we soon will remember our own loved ones, I want to first share a poem from a book that just came out a few days ago. It is called Shiva, Poems of October 7th. I'm going to read it to you both in Hebrew and in English. The English title is Illusion, and it is by Michael Zatz. Madhin, איך הכל נראה זהה, גם כשכלום לא נשאר אותו דבר. Amazing how everything looks unchanged, even when nothing remains the same. So as we celebrate, but we know that there are holes in our hearts, let us be sure to continue celebrating, but also remember everything going on and how nothing is truly the same. As we think about those who lost their lives, the 6 hostages, others in Israel, the 4 in Georgia, let us also think of those in our community, those recently taken from us: George Walker, Nancy Moore, Jack Kahn, Leslie Weil Marcus. Those who passed away during the past year: Shirley Judge, Betty Simmons, Lee Kaplan, Joanne Bender, Leonard Nachman, Rowan Hausman, Maureen Corcoran, Lucy Silva, Larry Zachem, Richard Price Marcus, Eddie Goldman, Eleanor McKee, Faye Roos, Joseph Schieber, Elaine Kaplan, James Coker, Harry Saxe, Chuck Schwing, Carol Kane, Arlette Goldstein, Mordecai Rosenstein, and Terry Stern. We also think of those who died at this season in years past and whose family members are observing the Yortzeit anniversary of death on this Shabbat. David Bowman, Dora Binder, Barry Burton, Jacob Dampf, Marilyn Deitch, Alice Dupaquier, Anne Folks, Catherine Hurd, Marcus Hirsch, Harris Caffey, Boris Carlin, Edward Klein, Deborah Lipsy, Eileen Schwartz, Simon Streifer, Harold Travis, and Harry Wander. If there are others that you are remembering this evening, if you'd like to share their names aloud, I invite you to do so as one community now. We turn now to the words of Mourner's Kaddish, page 598, and I invite you to rise if you wish. Yit gadol v'yit kadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hirote v'yamlich malchute, v'chayachon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dekol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yahei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei almaya, yit barach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha barichu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yahei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. O say shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May all their memories be for a blessing, as together we say, amen. You may be seated as I invite up Julie, representing our board, to officially welcome us and share some announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for joining us tonight for services. Tomorrow morning there will be Torah study at 9:30, Minyan at 10, and services at 10:30. Tomorrow night there will be a Havdalah service on Zoom hosted by the Saxey family at 6. On Sunday at 4:30 p.m., join us for our next Elul program at Rabbi Smiley's house to be in community as we prepare to welcome the new year. Swimming encouraged. Once you register, you will receive an email with Rabbi Smiley's home address. On Thursday at 6 p.m., join us for the first High Mitzvah discussion, which will be on the topic of Teshuvah, repentance. For more details about these events and more, please go to our website or refer to the weekly announcements. Thank you to everyone who participated in services tonight. When we conclude, please join us in the social hall for an oneg, where we will continue to celebrate our summer Jewish experiences. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much. What a lovely Shabbat it has been, coming together in our Shabbat whites to celebrate so much. Let us sing about how lovely Shabbat can be. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Ma yafeh hayom. Shabbat Shalom, Ma yafeh hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Let us sanctify this moment with Kiddush and Motzi so we then can join together in the social hall for Oneg. I know some of them, because we've been in here a while, left the room, but if there are any kids still in the room who would like to come join me